All right, what's up, y'all? It is StrawhatYomo again, back with another video, and this time we're talking about.
Summer time render or
There you
rendering.
go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm
So you
saying?
already know what we're gonna be talking about, summertime rendering. Um, so yeah, for y'all who have not seen or heard about summertime rendering, this show came out last season, so summer of 2022.
That it
Um,
did.
it, it was one of the sleeper ones that I didn't really hear too many people talk about. There's one YouTuber that I follow that just kept on talking about it. His name is
Mhm.
Chibi, and he just kept on mentioning it, like, "Oh, this show is fire. This show is gas. I can't wait for it every week." And I was like, "All right, this show cannot be that gas if you're the only one talking about it."
Mm.
But let me go ahead and and check it out. And sure enough, my opinion of the show is that it is indeed not gas. Let me just say that. I'm
What?
gonna just
It's
say
not
that.
gas.
I don't think is like
Okay.
amazing, but it's not bad. It's like very in the middle. It is very in the middle.
Mm.
And the reason why I feel that way is just that the show's too confusing. That whole time travel stuff, like I'm not a big fan of time
The
travel.
slander.
That mess gets way too confusing where I'm just like, all right, man, y'all got it. Y'all got it.
No,
But
no, hold on. Do you like Steins Gate?
I do. I do. Oh, wait. I liked the OG Steingate, the first one that came out,
Yeah.
and then the one that came out afterwards, I didn't watch it because it just didn't entertain me.
Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Uh,
So,
all right. No, all right. No, because with summertime rendering, right? This guy told me to watch it. He was like, yo, Dcentos, you gotta watch this. This is the best joint ever. Like, you gotta watch it. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna get to it. And
nah, you put words in my mouth. I didn't say it
nah,
was the best thing ever. I said you at least gotta check it out.
That's what you said. You said you gotta watch it.
Nah, that's Emmanuel.
Nah. And my opinion of the show is actually, I think this show is actually contender for anime of the year. Now, with an asterisk, Now, I mean anime of the year in terms of anime that is not a that I guess a non-seasonal continuing anime. And what
Mm-hmm.
and what I mean by that is, it's like something not like an Attack on Titan where that's like season 4, or like a Demon Slayer where
True,
that's like
true.
season 2. I think, granted, we had a weak year of anime. We did have a weak year of anime, in my opinion. So based on what we got, I think this is actually a contender of anime of the year. I do think it's a very I wouldn't say it's the most like original premise, but definitely unique
Mm-hmm.
in nature for sure. You definitely don't see a lot of shows like this. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of Steins Gate. There's like a show called like Nagi no Asera. I don't. I'm gonna put up a little picture in a joint, but it's about these people in the ocean city, whatever like that. But it reminds me of that, and I thought the show was pretty interesting. Basically, like the premise of the show is that you got this kid. His name is Arjiro Shinpei. I'm just gonna call him Shinpei.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And Shinpei, he wakes up on a boat, and basically he's coming back to his hometown, which is some island in Japan, because one of his friends died. Right, so he's coming back for the funeral, and essentially with the funeral, there's actually more behind it. It's actually, oh, how did she actually die? What's the mystery? And basically, without getting too into it, because this is like you don't learn this in the first couple episodes anyway. So this is spoilers, but basically going into it, they find out there's actually like this just supernatural powers at stake, right? And there are these things called shadows, and shadows they clone people and they target families. So they clone people, and once the shadow clones you, its goal for it to live is to kill you. So basically, that's how um Shinpei, his friend, that's how she dies, and basically, you know, Shinpei has like this crazy power where he can like time travel. So now his goal is to actually to solve the mystery of the murder and prevent it from happening. That is the premise of the show, Summertime Rendering. I Is there more I need to say?
If y'all have seen Ray Zero, is basically like Ray Zero. Every time the main character dies, he goes back in time, and so it's like he's going back, and needs to figure out, all right, what can I do better so where I won't die at this time. But the catch is that every time that he dies, his save point, like where he comes back and starts again, isn't the same. It's ahead
Mm-hmm.
a certain amount of time. So if he say like, well, it's 8:55 in my time right now. Say if he dies at 8:55, he's supposed to come back at this time. But say if he dies again, it would come back at like what, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
So his stakes are different, and he has a deadline that he has to meet. This is spoilers, but if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you already seen the show. But there's at one point where they have this like fireworks festival, and on this day is where like the island is taken over by the shadows, and everyone and all of his friends dies. So his point, he's trying to save everyone before that date happens, and he's already kind of experienced it as himself as well too, and we get to see a little bit of how it goes down. So there is that aspect. So I do like that premise of the show. It makes it a lot more interesting and unique than other shows. It like separates itself. And I do like how they introduced these shadows characters as well too. It made it a lot more like they made them look a lot more creepy, menacing.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to beat and everything. I did like the design. I did like the process of all these like shadow characters and things like that. I thought that was cool. Me personally, where I felt like the show fell flat was just like how confusing it got later down the road, because it started off very simple, where like, okay, I died, I did this wrong. Let me go and let me not do this next time. But I didn't like we got one shadow that can travel back in time with them. And then they can print and copy other things, and they were getting battles to where, oh, I printed this, but it's actually a fake. This isn't a real thing. This is a real thing. And I was like, all right, man, y'all gotta dumb it down. Y'all doing too much. Y'all
Yeah.
doing too much.
Okay.
But
I don't. Man, because I so you watched it week to week, correct?
yes, I did.
And I binge watched it, so I was watching it, pretty much like straight through. So I would say I did understand a little bit more than you did because of like the knowledge is fresh in my head, and I think and this is and I think sometimes some time travel anime they fall into this trap, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
there's so much time travel, right? And they have so many different rules. Is that they're not explaining the foundation to the watcher correctly. And at some point it gets confusing and you get lost. You're saying, okay, all right, because at first, all right, you go through this time loop and basically and if you die, you get reset and you keep your memories. That makes sense, right? Which is fair, right? But then it's all right. Okay, so you can get copied during this time loop, but the original object that got copied can no longer be used, or if you copy this object, now this object can be used. It was starting to get more and more confusing after that, and then when they start to explain I guess like the I guess like the shadows and their abilities and how the copying works, it wasn't well explained. And I think sometimes what this show should have done, usually they do this sometimes in time travel anime, is where they have like this one character who's like the smart character
Mm-hmm.
where they will basically dumb down what is being said and explain it to you properly in like in a little whiteboard format, something that's easy to understand. And
Yeah.
I feel like in this show they didn't do that, and they should have slowed down a little bit to kind of do that, because now it gets to a point where you're reading things, and this guy, the main character Shinpei, he goes through these loops, right? And these loops are basically, how far he gets before he dies, right? But
Mm-hmm.
now it gets so complex where he remembers where something that happened in loop 5 is now relevant to loop 7, or something that happened in loop 3 is now relevant to loop 9.
Yeah,
And
like
it's
it
just
got real
like
confusing
and
with
it's just
that.
like and it's just like maybe if you went back and rewatched it, it'd make sense. But as you're watching it, it's just like, man, like this is too much. Like I need to. It's like it's almost like you need to like a Wikipedia the entire show as you're watching it, which can get kind of
Yes.
annoying. So
Yes.
I agree. Like that part of it was crazy. for sure, for sure. But I mean, I enjoyed the show. Like you didn't enjoy it at all. Like you enjoyed none of
I
the
enjoyed it. No,
suspense.
don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. Like I liked. I just felt like that whole time, especially at one point where earlier, during that festival, but then like I thought rewritten into where that didn't happen yet. But then later down in the season, like in the episodes, he comes back again, like that copied version of him. And I was like, the shadow version. I was like, what? Kind of confused on that, but like the show wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I still feel like it's a must watch. Not well, I won't say must watch, but it's a show that I would check it out and enjoy. But you know, that's just me. I did like it. I did like.
Yeah, I man. And I think there were like a lot of like good parts in my opinion because I think there are a lot of interesting characters. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit to at least who I really liked.
I
Not
like the what's her name? The
Nagamo Sensei.
glasses.
Yeah, Nagamo Sensei or Hizuru.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you know what? I think basically like she has what's his name like Ryunosuke. I think is it
Mm-hmm.
Ryunosuke?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Ryunosuke is actually like inside of her, and like they it basically Ryunosuke has like the powers of the shadows, and he can like move fast, and like she's like really smart. So like I like that. You know, I really like the hunter. His name was Nezu. You know, he was really he was
He was cool.
yeah, he was like a cool, cautious character. I don't know, like I really I was messing with the characters. I was messing with the action, the fighting. You know, I like how I like the shadows were strong, but they try to give the characters ways to actually fight against them. So it wasn't like a like a Stranger Things type of thing.
Yeah.
Like in Stranger Things, like really like only like one character is useful, and other ones are just side characters. And in this show, they try to give everyone like
Everybody was useful.
yeah, just try to give everyone a use, and like maybe you could fight against the shadow this way and this way. The only thing I didn't like about the shadows and the fighting, I felt um like the forearm shadow. His name was Shide. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like to me, one his backstory was way too confusing. I don't know how he was alive. I don't know why
I
there were multiple
actually
copies of him.
I didn't think it was that confusing, honestly. Like that I understood.
I didn't understand any of that, and I just felt like towards the end, I was like, all right, bro, when you gonna die? I was like, I was like,
Yeah. He
I was
kept
like,
on living for a while.
yeah, I was like, come on, bro, when you gonna die? Like he just kept on like going on and going. I was like, all right, nah, you didn't kill me yet. Actually, now you gotta follow me to the vault to this world. Like he made a lot of references to video games. Interestingly enough. 'Cause I think he said he was like
Mm-hmm.
a Final Fantasy 5 fan or 6,
Yeah.
7 fan. So he was talking about, oh, I'm the final boss and this, that, and third, and I'm actually gonna win because I'm the final this, that, and the third. And I was like, oh, okay, okay. Uh, I think I think like a tiny gripe with me. I don't think they really needed any type of like romance in this show. I mean, like maybe between like the main two characters like Yushio and Shinpei.
Mm-hmm.
But like Mio's real fans with Shinpei, I was like that you didn't need to tell that story. Or Soul's how you like Mio, like you didn't need to tell that story. That wasn't really necessary in the show. Uh
They tried, but again,
yeah.
like yeah, I admit I didn't really care for any of that romance stuff. So I was like, oh, whatever, let's get to the plot.
hmm Um
But,
that's what I like about the show. I like the show's first OP. I like the first opening and like the second ending where they started having that girl singing. I don't know what it was, but that joint was fire to me.
yeah.
Uh what else, man? I think it was just like interesting points, man. Like that one scene where they was in a school gym, right? And they had Nezu
Oh yeah.
and they had like Nezu like watching the school gym through the sniper scope, and then Nezu got caught and they instantly sniped Shinpei. Like to me, like that scene was tough. I was like, yo, they got him. And they was like, you know what? We just gonna keep killing you until you can't loot no more. And I was like,
Basically,
yeah,
I was that actually got me. Villains in the show were actually like really good, I feel like every time they were like one step ahead of them, and it wasn't to the point where the characters were dumb or anything that they couldn't keep up. It was just that these villains were
yeah,
that good, like
hmm
they got abnormal powers and they're smart as well too. But
exactly.
I also liked how it went down the battle between the shadows and Pei at the gym, you know,
Yeah.
and how like that whole scene went down and everything. I was like, wow, this is really creative, and that's really I really do like this. So that's all I have to say about that.
Hey man, Shinpei man. You know what? You know what I wish they would have used more his catchphrase because they said it like a couple times in the first like 6 episodes, and then they stopped using it. Where it was like
Really?
take a step back. It's like, oh yeah, like no, because I thought he was gonna be like one of these like really smart like characters like Elmer Lelouch was like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like he takes a step back and then like he like figures stuff out. I was like, I thought they was gonna use that, but they didn't. I wish they would have, but I mean it was
Mm.
still cool. What else, man? I don't know. Like I enjoyed the ride. Again, there were the confusing parts, but overall to me, it was a solid watch. I think you know you have to watch this anime this year. Like this is a must watch if you are an anime watcher for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, like show to give to someone who's never like seen anime before, you know. It wasn't anything weird about it. It was just like a straight like mystery thriller dark show, you know, and I liked it, you know. It wasn't bad, like I said, but I also feel like it wasn't amazing, you know. I thought it was a pretty solid straight show. So I think like a 7.5 to 8 is what I'm thinking. So
I'm gonna have to give it a right now. I mean, I just finished the show today, so it's fresh in my mind.
hmm.
So right now I got it at a 9. From what I maybe it's just because of what I've seen this year, but right now I got it at a 9.
Okay. Oh, I mean, 9, 7.5, 8-ish is what I'm thinking. So, I mean, that lets y'all know that this isn't a bad show. It's pretty straight. So, I would check it out. You know, if you like the whole time travel mystery thriller, trying to figure out, you know, who did what. I like that is something that if you like that, check it out. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say before we go ahead and close it?
I just want to say, man, you know, sometimes you just gotta you gotta take a step back. All I gotta say.
Bars. Shimpy had to take a step back every time he died. So yeah, but yeah. All right. This is StrawhatYomo and Dcentos. You know our thoughts on summertime rendering. You know, so let us know what y'all think about the show in the comments and everything like that. But with that, we out. Peace.
Peace.